But another possibility was that it was these compounds with unknown pharmacology were working or were being effective by antagonizing at the 5-HT/M or 5-HT3 receptors. So when Wes was doing this work, I was able to, if you like, I understood the literature. I'd created the literature, but I understood what I hadn't created, and was able to put that two together, predict this anti-emetic activity against a really tough form of vomiting that cancer patients were then experiencing. And to put it into context, this is almost 100% response. This was nausea and vomiting that could go on, the literature says, for 5 days. People were breaking ribs, people were refusing medications. It was really nasty, untreated, but necessary if you wanted a chance at life. So we understood that, and I was able to say to Wes, I know how this works. So by a combination of getting an example molecule off not a collaborator, but someone I knew then, working at Marion Merrill-Dow in France, John Fozzard was able to get his selective 5-HT3 receptor antagonist, went back to Wes, said please test it, and lo and behold it blocked, and from that moment on we knew how we could control this really severe form of nausea and vomiting. There's a lot to that story. There's a lot of stories surrounding the fact that we were changing that objective, that level of science, that way of approaching how metoclopramide worked and how you could treat patients. And change is never easy, particularly in a commercial industrial scenario where the juggernaut is already rolling towards what was considered to be the objective, and then you come along and say, no, that's wrong, do this. So a lot of difficulties. I probably wasn't the most diplomatic, but on the other hand, others were quite resistant to change. Not easy, but we got there in the end. One of the things that changed the scenario a lot was a video of these animals that we were using ferrets at the time because of a peculiarity in evolution. The normal lab animal, the rodents, cannot vomit. It's a peculiarity they have. So you have to use a different animal to mimic the human situation. Wes made a video of an animal that was vomiting, and he was able, through an indwelling intravenous catheter, inject in mid-vomit and said, I am injecting now, and the animal just emptied its mouth, shook its head, and went back to foraging, stopped within seconds, and that had never ever been achieved before. To put it into context, in the clinical scenario at the time, people were giving cancer patients 5 different drugs to try and achieve this unsuccessfully. Here we were, stopping it dead in seconds. He made a video, and after a lot of difficulties trying to persuade my then senior management to accept this was good. There was a lot of resistance to progressing this idea, because it was thought cancer patients didn't need this, the job was done, there were plenty of anti-emetics, you were wasting your time, we want to do something else.